Morning, everybody. Chad, Adler Farms. Whoop. Hey, we'll get to this here in a minute. Right now, we got to go before they figure out where we went. Seriously, we got to go because they'll start coming. Look out, Bruce. Oh, here's the cows. The steers aren't so bad, but the donkeys and the Highlands straight run you over. Oh, look out. Get down from there. Hi, lady. Woo, don't scratch the tractor, please. Look out. Let's go. What do you say, big boy? This is by far the windiest day I've ever experienced on the farm, that's for sure. Whoop. Now your brother already knows. Better go around. You stinkers. Wait till the Highlands get in there, hang on. In here. Woo, 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 woo. Come on, hip. Out of there, hip. Nope. Come on. Badonk, I love you, buddy. Keep moving. Nope. Come on, buddy. Come on, big boy. Woo! Down here, come on. Poor me, Lucy. Come on. Come on, boys. Watch out. Look at you. Look at him. Bruce, that is a terrible place to be, man. If she burps, you're shish kebab. So I posted a short or a reel, whatever you want to call it, about this yesterday. Hey, buddy, eat out of that trough. Donkey, doggone it. Get out of there, man. Up. Yep. Get back in there, buddy. Get back in there. Go on. There's nothing in here, is it? Go on. So when you feed out in the open, the donkeys can run the cows off the cubes because nobody wants to get kicked. In here, when they've got, protection on three sides, it's not so bad. And I'm not worried about Bruce. He'd probably barely eat 1 or 2 cubes. It looks like he eats about 12 a day, but when they're defended on 3 sides, the donkeys can't quite get in. So a little easier to defend. And if you're worried about the donkeys eating, remember they've got access to hay 24/7. They can also eat anything out here. I know, Chad, they can eat anything out there, but you cleared all the land. No, I didn't. There's green grass right over there. We got green grass growing down there now in this front part. We got hay up here, hay over there. And donkeys actually were bred, or I should say, it is in their genes to survive on very, very little. They're extremely efficient animals. They don't need near as much water. And ours have 24/7 access to hay. But we've got to make sure these cows have enough to eat. especially these two. We'll get them a feed bunk, but I think I'm leaning towards 2 separate ones just because I've only got 2 Highlands, so why not? Since they're horned, I'm leaning towards 2 separate ones just so they can keep distance from each other. These guys I'm not super worried about as far as eating out of the same tub. Let's go check something out. Nice little spot to hang your bucket. But yeah, I'll get better at it. But this is pretty smooth and it keeps me safe. I can dump cubes from this side. Because what I do, my box blade's wider than my tractor. So what I do is I pull up and then I can walk up and down here and dump cubes. And even if they don't go around and walk in, they can't get between here and here. Keeps everybody safer. So close. There we go. Let's go feed the alpacas. "17 hours on the tractor. Still very, very pleased with it. I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Morning, ladies and boy. Alan. Woo. So like I mentioned in the last video, sorry for the wind. There's nothing I can do about it today. And hang on, I do not want to get a wet wheelie from an alpaca. Bruce, how did you get? Oh my goodness. Such a stinker. Snicker, come here, honey. Oh, look out. In the last video I mentioned, and it's still true, you'll see Alan, I think, one more time in one more video, and Snicker one more time before they will go to the auction. What do you say, pretty lady? I already fed you. Can't. What? I can't. No head scratch. You've already been fed. I already gave you cubes. Let's go check their water situation. So, hang on. It's windy. Hang on. Let me get under the shelter. So as windy as it is, this is held just fine, and I'm very, very pleased with it. And some of you guys knocked on my temporary shelters because you said they blow over. And you were absolutely right. I don't know what happened. That thing was fine at 5:30 this morning. And then I signed in at 6 a.m. and it was, there's a camera like mounted on it like this one. And I signed in at 6 a.m. and I was looking at grass. So I knew what had happened. This wind right now is right out of the south, which is extremely uncharacteristic for this time of year, but it flipped it over. What I'm gonna do is take some of the boards from the one that flipped over instead of trying to fix it, because today it's just way too windy. Remember, they've got another shelter if they need it. There's no rain in the forecast for over a week. I'm gonna take some of the lumber from the one that flipped over and broke and use it to complete the one where the four-wheelers and the mowers were in the beginning of the video. And we're gonna cement some of those down, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. The reason the second one didn't flip over right there is it's facing straight east, which I probably should have done to begin with because the wind hardly ever comes out of the east. It's all right, or I could have bolted them together, but the second one I built, I also used more lumber. Even though I built it quicker, it was definitely more efficient. Weight was spaced out better. Woo! No harm done. Didn't hurt any of the animals. They don't get in it unless it's pouring, and I haven't actually seen the Highlands in it at all. Or I should say at all. They go in it, they look around, they're like, not for me, and they walk out. But you can hear that wind though, and this one's not moving. Of course, that post right there and that post right there are in the ground almost 3 feet. And these are in the ground 2.5 feet. That's why gotta watch the old noggin, but it ain't going anywhere. I'm not worried about it. They're trying to eat out of the bucket off the back of the tractor. Look at that. It's like licking the bowl. There's a bucket and they're literally licking it. Probably scratching my tractor. Yeah, Alan and Snicker are still going to the auction. We're very pleased with it. The auction's happy to have them. They actually said they were looking for some alpacas to add to their lineup, and they're very pleased. We're selling them as exposed, but not bred. They haven't been vet checked. Just being totally upfront with everybody. They're both about 5 years old. We got Snicker at this auction. I told him she's either bred and the person we bought her from is off by about 4 months, or she's not bred when we got her and she's likely bred now, or could be a dud. I was just straight up front with him. Here you go. This is what we got. All right, let's go look at that structure that fell. Excuse me. Morning. All right, by the way, you guys help me out down below. Guys and gals alike, I know there's some great welders that are women. Not that there wouldn't or shouldn't be, but when I say guys, I'm aiming it at guys and gals. I want to learn how to weld. I did it a little bit in high school. I'm talking like 10th grade, so 22 years ago. But yeah, TIG, MIG, let me know which one's the most efficient. I've got some friends with welders from Harbor Freight, and they love them because they're just doing small jobs like repairing stuff. But that is some angle iron that came with the box blade, and it's not super strong, but when you're talking about just doctoring something up, I want to know how to do it. So let me know what I should get down below. I also need to stack some of this hay and make room for more hay that we got coming. So we might do that here in a little bit, but it's also super windy, so we may not. But I also need to build something for the alpacas to eat in, because when we move Snicker and Alan, I got to be able to pin them up. Hey, we're just gonna play follow the leader all day. Boy, that's something right there now. Oh, look, that's snapped. Some strong wind. Yeah, we'll just salvage what we can out of the material. And clearly that one's not moving. Well, so we've got a trench where we put our water line, and I've never filled it in because I was waiting on a tractor with a box blade. So I shouldn't say it's not filled in. It looks like this. And we needed to run the box blade down it. So I made one pass and I lost a cotter pin that is a part of the quick hitch, which secures locking mechanism on the quick hitch to keep your box blade from raising out. So without that pin, when I drag the box blade doesn't follow me on the left side because that's the pin I lost. That's not a dealer thing. It's not even really a Titan attachment thing. I'm guessing that cottering pin, the little clip that holds it, or maybe the pin is the cottering, you know what I'm saying? I'm guessing that was loose, and that's all she wrote. It was working great. See this right here? That holds that lever and keeps this in place from pulling out. And over here is just gone. So it's probably in this mess. The blade was working great though. And none of this is too heavy for that blade. Or too thick, I should say, especially with the rain we had. But now I can buy some of those. A lot of you guys that own tractors have told me to buy a bunch because you're gonna lose them. Stuff just vibrates loose when you're using your tractor like you're supposed to. Especially those little cotter pins. But we'll get one here at Tractor Supply and save this project for another day. No big deal. So that happens. That's nobody's fault. No dealer, nothing. It just rose out of there and that was it. What's bugging me is I know it's right here somewhere. We're gonna let them eat on that for a little bit. Woo! This is nuts. Now there's storms down south making the wind like this. A lot of you guys ask, man, is it always windy at your place? Is it always windy? Yes and no. We're at the top of our property. And at the top, it's probably 40 feet higher than the back. It's a lot less, so just how it is up here when it's windy at all. Whew. Hiding behind the cabin. So again, it's a pin that goes right there. But I actually used this the other day right in front of the chicken coop and it did great. I don't think I lost it over there though. I ran it up there a little bit off camera and it was doing fine. And when that pin's gone, you know it immediately. Let me show you this. And magically, this thing has stood. And it's not super, like, you know, bolted down. There's nothing cemented in the ground yet. I think I am going to, check that out. That's beaver marks. That's hilarious. So this is the old dock. This is like 8 by 12, 8 feet high, 12 feet long. And I stood it up yesterday with the tractor and we're gonna use it as this wall right here. But the reason this isn't falling down is I've got a 2x6. Well, you can just see the edge of it, but that runner on the cabin, it was already jacked up. It's like cockeyed a little bit, but it doesn't hurt anything. But this right there, that big old beefy 4x6, there's one right there, and I've got a 2x6 on the other side of it, screwed into the wall, holding that up. So it ain't going anywhere because the whole weight of the cabin is holding it in place. But it's pretty nice. And of course I got this brace in it, which helps, and I put a screw in there yesterday because I knew it'd be windy today. But I think what I'll do is probably just bow it all yet. Yeah, a little bit. I'll probably put some more in there. It's a 1x6, not a 2x, excuse me. But either way, it works. As you guys know, I was going to, you know, price a concrete pad and a storage shed, and we still may. Things change so much when you're developing this land because you don't know what you want until you really think about it. What we don't want, well, I'll put it this way. If we put a shop out here, we'd rather have a house. Like I'd rather pour a pad and start building a house than build some 30 by 36 barn with a concrete floor or a shop, whatever you want to call it. I'd rather start building a house than find just a place to park the tractor. You know, would a concrete floor be nice when I was putting that box blade together the other day? Absolutely. But let's be real. That's got a 2-year bumper to bumper warranty. So if there's any major things to go wrong with it, I'm not going to be doing the work on it anyway. It's going to be going to the dealer. No reason to worry about that, but don't these things fit nice? I think they fit pretty nice. I'm probably going to run to town and grab one of those cotter pins, a couple bags of concrete. Did you guys hear that? That wasn't cowboy, that was the other one. I'm going to grab a couple bags of concrete and firm this structure up a little bit by putting a 4x4 post right there. I really don't want to attach. I really don't want to attach to the cabin, but we can absolutely cement a 4x4 post in right there and one in right there. And that'll make this much sturdier because we'll run 2x6x16s, the length of this. And then as far as covering the tractor, this isn't quite tall enough. That's 8 feet, and I believe that's a little over 8 feet with the ROPS on it. We can easily make this a little bit taller because I can just build a taller wall here, just wide enough for the tractor. I can get some base rock. Boy, you're getting it this morning. We can get some base rock and make this a little bit bigger, this pad right here. And we might always have something right here. I'm gonna close it in on that side because that is north, and despite the way the wind's blowing right now, the snow comes from that way, over there. We wanna keep the snow off the tractor. Let me go. I'm not defensive about the wind, okay? It's windy. It's not always windy. We've had some great days. I actually burnt that the other day. I started burning that yesterday. Super nice, but this is like, down south of us, they've got like tornadic winds. So pray for everybody a little bit south of us because it's gonna get a little bit hairy later and this weekend as well. Let's go run some errands and then we'll come back and, where's it at? We'll scrap some of those boards, bring them over here and start making this a little bit stronger. Alrighty? We're back. All right, the wind's still ripping. Surprise, surprise. Just got off the phone with my dad, Grandpa Adler Farms. He said the wind's doing the same thing there. But let's check the chicken coop. I'll get to the dogs in a minute. Don't worry. Just warning shots. Uh-oh. All right. And we still got, no, was that poop? That's a little bit of poop. Hang on. So, you guys follow our members only on Facebook or YouTube. You'll see that we actually got 5 eggs yesterday, 3 today. I'm sure we'll get more today after I'm done filming this, but just putting some scratch and some oyster shells and some layer feed made these guys lay eggs. Not them. Y'all, I mean y'all. Y'all laid eggs. I appreciate it. Let's take this up there, actually. Hang on. What'd you do with the straw? There we go. So yeah, we're getting eggs again, just because they're getting corn. So like I mentioned, I ran to Tractor Supply, and I got, I think it's called a clevis bolt? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. And then a cotter pin, which holds it together. So now we can use our box blade. What's up, boys? They think they're getting food. You guys are ridiculous. Animals, man. Always hungry. So here's a hairpin cotter. And then I got 2 different sizes of, well, they call this a top link pin. This may not actually be what I want. I hope. We're going to find out in a minute together. Da-da-da-da. Alright. Oh, it's a tiny one. Maybe this won't work. So I had to go in and ask for help because I still don't quite know what I'm doing. I can tell right now these are going to be too big. Oh, doggone it. Now I can disconnect this and still run the tractor. That's no big deal. But I'd really like to have, what is that right there? Just need to get another one. Doggone it. All right, let's talk about what we did here. Then we'll talk about the DOGs up front. But we'll stand in here because it's not windy. Well, there wasn't much to take down because the wind blew it over. But I took down the first structure that I built completely. I broke it all the way down, took all the screws out, brought all the timber, lumber over here. So now there's just the one. And yes, I'm aware, if I really needed to, I could take some T-posts, drive them into the ground, probably get some 7-footers, maybe 8-footers even if they got them, and then attach that to the structure. That way that's still mobile technically, like just a fence clip or a chain link clip, and actually screw that to the structure, to the T-post would actually hold that structure on the ground, in the ground, to the ground, and it'd be no big deal. I think the reason the first one blew away, goats, man. Goats. Whoo, goats. The first one that blew away, that was the first one I built. And I was trying to make it as light as possible. That was my goal. Then the second one I built, I was like, no, I know now what I want to be able to do with this. And I built it better. I used 2x6s, no 2x4s, no 1xs. And I even reinforced it so if I ever put skids underneath it and pull it, it's not going to twist or whatever under its own weight when it gets moved. It's a true mobile loafing shed at this point, the second one I built, the one that's still up there and still standing. It was a great shot. I just need to build another one of those. I left the panels up there because we don't need them right here. I did not attach this to the cabin yet, and there's good reason. I don't know. I don't think I want it attached to the cabin. Right now, all it's doing is supporting this wall, which is plenty heavy. It's not going anywhere, okay? The wind is not, I know I could eat crow, I know, but this is so robust. And it's attached to these so well that we've basically got an L. I mean, the wind's been hitting this. The same wind that blew that over has been just beating the daylights out of this all day long, and it's okay. So I think we're all right. But my plan ultimately, see, I've got 2 gates right there. My plan ultimately, not today, but I want to set this in the ground, possibly get a taller one. I want to put this in the ground so it's firm. I want to put one in the ground right there, possibly that one over in the corner as well, just to make sure it doesn't crush anything. And I can take these silly supports out, and then I'll span 2x6, probably 3 of them all the way across, put metal up top. Somehow, this is straight up, hang on, let me see. It reads like 8.2, so that's probably actually like 7.5. But ultimately, I want to make this, hang on, let me get in here. Ultimately, I want to make that other side for the tractor. So we'll say, hey, what is that? That's an eagle. Is that not an eagle? Hang on, Mama. Hang on. We're friends, but you're kind of close for comfort. Hang on. There we go. She says, you think this board's gonna stop me? Hey, listen, can I just scratch your head? Can I just, no? See? So the reason I like this too, I may need to legit drop that down so she doesn't come in here and get stuck or something silly. Now listen, I didn't build this cow proof yet, okay? Well, look at that. How's that work? Does that feel good? Is there a baby in there? Is there a baby in there? Hang on. Oh, yep, it kicked. It's definitely yours. It's a kicker. I think it might have actually slapped me with its baby horns. I do. You have the prettiest horns, by the way. Everybody says that. You do. You do. Yeah. Yep. Does that feel good? Can't ever scratch that spot? Me too, I know. This is gonna be for the four-wheelers. I want to put my log splitter right over here. I'm probably going to get another load of base rock, this compaction rock, whatever you want to call it. I think it's base rock, but it's got the aggregate in it, which hardens and basically like almost becomes concrete. This is always risky because I'm going to go in the shed. And when I go in the shed, they think they're getting cubes. So they're going to be really disappointed. I need to talk to you guys about those dogs. And then also about electric cable or Romex, whatever you call it. Anyway, the dogs, before I departed to go to Tractor Supply, literally was just driving out of the driveway, and those dogs had come through the barbed wire into the alpaca pasture. Now, they weren't chasing the alpacas, but the alpacas started alerting, and it was very loud. And then they kind of circled up, which is what they do. And they just kind of waited to see what the dogs did. Well, because I had just shut my truck door, the dogs retreated back through the barbed wire into the road. But they came, I sat in my truck and I waited, and they came right down our road and into our driveway all the way to the gate. And they got collars on, both of them. Now, I've never seen those dogs before, but the way the dogs were moving, they've been to our gate before. That was pretty apparent. So they got real close. They started to come through the gate. I just put a little round real close just to make sure they knew they weren't supposed to come in here, and they took off running. They weren't in a too big of a hurry, so I don't know if they've been, pew-pewed at before, but they weren't in a super big hurry. So anyway, they went further down the road, which is right up there. They went further down the road just to where we have the electric fence and came back in. So I put another one real close. Now, they got collars on, they're clean, they look bathed, they're not hungry. Those dogs have names and they belong to somebody. And the last thing I want to do is what would need to be done if they went after our alpacas. And we've already been down this road. If you've been following very long, we've had a couple issues with wild dogs. We've had a couple issues with a neighbor's dog, and it was all handled just like you're supposed to handle it in the country. But those dogs belonged to somebody. So I'm doing my best to push them and keep them going wherever they're going. So I feel a little bit better now because the first issue we had with the dog, the alpacas, Alan specifically, really didn't have anywhere to go because the pen was only 100 by 100. Now the alpaca's pen is almost 3 acres. So they have tons of room to run. And I do believe they would. I'll keep you updated on that, but I literally just put a couple warning rounds near them and then just let them be. I just let them move on their way. They're still here. They're still hopefully never to return, but you know what I mean. Why do I want this structure right here? Well, if we put it right here, here's my utility box, and I can just run a cable right down out there, put in an outdoor outlet and trickle chargers, whatever else I need for equipment, right? Engine block heater for the tractor, all that stuff. So anyway, that's why I want it right over here. Plus it's kind of protected. It's also protected by the shed from the wind, by the cabin from the wind. But what wire do I need? If I was to wire this whole cabin tomorrow, what wire is this? Tell me in the comments down below. Like, do I go in and I get 250-foot roll at Lowe's or Lock or whatever our local supply store is? Is it 14 gauge? Is it 12 gauge? Like, what is it? This wire right here just runs to one interior outlet down there powering the refrigerator and Wi-Fi and whatever else I want. But there's another one right here on its own breaker. Both of them are running straight down through the floor and then to the exit over there by the door. And it powers a outdoor outlet. What I would like to do is splice into that one that runs down through the floor and to the outdoor outlet. I'd like to splice into it right where it comes through the floor here and just put another outlet right out here. I can do that, right? I mean, how many plugs, switches, whatever. I'm not an electrician. Talk to me like a rookie. It's okay. I'm playing the rookie card. How many plugs can I have on that one breaker? Let me know. And yes, it's upside down. Somebody's going to be like, it's upside down. It's not upside down. They get mounted like this all the time because we didn't want to run it up through the roof. Because in case you didn't know, there's actually knockouts on the bottom and the top. They're made to be mounted however you want to mount them. I've added breakers before. I've wired a well pump. I've run cable for other things, but it was like already done. I was just replacing what was there. So let me know what wire I need. I think that's it for today. I'm gonna go order some of those silly quick hitch pins. Tuck everybody in around here, probably get another bale of hay. I gotta go pick up the boys, start some food. Nope, I gotta pick up the boys, pick up Goose. He got a haircut. I'm sure he's looking as handsome as ever. Our Ray's doggy. No, it's technically his Goose. Goose is my dog. I better say he's my dog too. The toy poodle got a haircut, so we got to go get him. That's it. So until next time it won't be as windy, but it's going to be really, really cold because that's what this wind is blowing in, like 25 degrees. So it's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. But yeah, if you guys are around that severe weather, just sit tight and hang on. But until then, y'all be good. Don't work too hard. Don't make it weird. God bless. Deuces. See you guys.